The title is just my opinion. Don't come at me. Anyways, hi, it is I, Nerdusty Sense, your favorite monkey ape who talks about perfume on the internet. Today, I'm gonna be talking about, in my opinion, the best fragrance line made by a designer house ever. Ever. Alright? That's just my opinion. And I'm really gonna barge this in. I'm gonna glaze over this line in this video. So, buckle up. Glazing is about to commence. The thing I just love about this fragrance line is, even after the release of the original back in the 90s, this fragrance brand can still somehow be relevant nowadays and get a lot of hype. Like, if you look at TikTok, everybody's glazing Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrances. Lamala Perfum, the Elixir, the new Paradise Garden, the new Lamal Lover. I don't know if people are talking about that now. I haven't been on TikTok in a while. But still, my point is, this brand is unkillable. Truly, it's a classic masterpiece of a line. I'm just gonna be talking about all the fragrances that I have smelled and the ones I own. I'm not gonna be talking about all of the discontinued ones. I do know a few of them, but this is technically a buying guide, so this is supposed to help you actually make a purchasing decision. It just wouldn't make sense if I talked about the ones that were discontinued. You can't really buy them, so it wouldn't make sense to include them in a buying guide. And yeah, I'll try to be as fair and not biased as possible, even though I love glazing about this line. I love this line a lot. Did you know I love this line? So I'm gonna talk about all the ones that I know of, the ones I've smelled, and at the end I will tell you which one you could get for which situation. Depends, really. That's the whole point of a buying guide. Right, enough yapping. Let's just commence glazing. First off, the original Jean-Paul Gaultier lamal. This is just one of those fragrances that I'm forever gonna have a bottle of. I'm forever gonna be smelling like this stuff. I love it a lot. It's very versatile, it's sweet, and it's masculine and old school. I also like old school fragrances. This is, as I said, a sweet fragrance with a lot of aromatic notes, like, for example, mint and lavender. It's got a very nice powdery vanillic touch from that tonka bean that just kind of pops up more as it dries down, and also vanilla. In general, this fragrance is, well, amazing. I personally love the sweetness and also the masculinity that this projects. Even though it is an old-ass scent, it's still a good scent. It is based off the smell of hairdressers from back in the 50s. Their shops would basically just reek of lavender essential oils, and I guess Francis Kurkdjian, the nose behind this masterpiece, and also owner of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, the brand that made Baccarat Rouge, Grand Soir, and the Oud Satin Mood. He was very heavily inspired by the scent, and I'm sure Jean-Paul Gaultier also had a little bit of barge with that sweetness. In general, this fragrance does fit that Jean-Paul Gaultier kind of name. Nowadays, if you're just a typical guy out there trying to get, you know, compliments, smell good, be hygienic and whatnot, you will pull in compliments, yes, but at the same time, you might have a few side effects. First off, this fragrance is old, meaning a lot of daddies have worn this in the past. So wearing this out in the club might remind somebody of their father. Now, depends on what kind of person you are. This isn't always the best thing. Sometimes it is, but not always. Another thing, the price is a bit hysterical. This isn't crazy expensive, but, you know, you can get much better for a little bit cheaper, maybe much cheaper, better performance, more compliments, more attention, and whatnot. But if you do just kind of want to buy this because it's, you know, a classic fragrance that smells masculine and you just want to have some memories or just be a collector, this is amazing. All right. Just off of that, we're going to base every single fragrance off of this one. So if it holds up to the original, it's a good fragrance. If not, we'll talk about it. Next up, let's talk about the fan favorite clubbing god fragrance, Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Mole. Now, this is genuinely one of the best fragrances out on the market from a designer house. And if you want compliments, this is something you definitely want to check out. If you want to smell modern and you also want to smell sexy as shit and not remind people of their father, this is the one you want to go with. Trust me, this is amazing. There's a little bit of that DNA in here from the original, but honestly, the first time I actually smelled this fragrance, I couldn't really capture the original, to be fair. It kind of smelled like a completely different fragrance. This is just sweet and very heavy on that vanilla. It also has a very great fruity, spicy, cinnamony touch as it dries down, which is fucking delicious in my opinion. It really does create this like photorealistic candy sweet sort of scent, and I just in general love that about this scent. I will forever recommend this. In terms of performance, I feel this one has slightly been watered down. It lasts a few hours less, with still an okay projection. But I mean, 5 to 6 sprays of this treated me very well, so I'm sure it'll treat you just fine as well. Next up is one a lot of people forgot about due to the fact that it's discontinued. This next one is the best summer fresh fragrance in the Lamal line ever. In my opinion, this beats every single one of the newer ones because it's amazing. And I'm talking about Lamal Popy Eau Fraiche. I recently picked this up used for a really good price, and the second I smelled this, I fell in love with it. This fragrance is fresh, aromatic, sweet, and a little bit vanillic as well. The vanilla has definitely been toned down in this one compared to something like Ultramal, but it's still pretty smellable, noticeable. This fragrance has aldehydes, which is a note a lot of these fresher fragrances use. As soon as you spray this on, you do get a little bit of that aldehydic sort of scent profile, and aldehydes is sort of supposed to smell oily, but in a good way. It also has a lot of mint. The mint in this has definitely been toned up, and also neroli. As it dries down, you get more aromatics like sage and cyclarin, and also the sweet vanilla tonka sound that will dry down is really good about this. There's actually quite a lot of the Ultramal DNA in this one. I kind of expected it to be more like the original, but no, not really. This feels like a fresher version of this one. But I mean, this still does have a few similarities to the original one. It just kind of smells closer to this than the original. And I mean, yes, of course, this one also has similarities to the original, so it's not really a whole new fragrance. It is a flanker. The performance is actually surprisingly good for a fresh fragrance. It projects a bit, but not that much, but it does stay on the skin for at least 6 or 7 hours, on me at least, which is very surprising. I didn't expect it to last that much. Next up is Le Beau Eau de Toilette. Listen, I don't know if I can include this one considering we're talking about, you know, Lamal fragrances, but I'ma still just do it because they're still pretty good. Listen, Le Beau is good. It is good. It's something you can use in the summer and the spring and also the fall time. I'll be honest and say that I do prefer Lamal over Le Beau, absolutely. But they're still really good fragrances, don't get me wrong. I would choose Le Beau fragrances over some of the Lamals we're gonna talk about later on. Anyways, this stuff is very sweet. It is vanillic, fruity, fresh, and as I said, very sweet. It has 3 notes, including bergamot, tonka, and coconut. And these notes are all very noticeable. I do pick up on this like sort of pina colada accord in there with a lot of fruity freshness in the start. And I mean, I do like Le Beau Eau de Toilette. I think it's a good fragrance, and the performance, it does alright. It's certainly not a monster, but it's good. It'll do the job very well. But in general, Le Beau Eau de Toilette, it's good. But Le Beau Le Parfum, that's where it hits me. Le Beau Le Parfum is objectively the better flanker. I'm kidding, it's just my opinion, don't come at me please. This one is darker, richer, still sweet, but it is more versatile than the original. You can wear this one year-round, whereas the original you can only wear in the hotter seasons. It smells great, very close to the original, both an added pineapple, iris, amber, and some other fun notes, which is very nice. This one is also a really good performer too. I do get almost a full day of longevity with this one, which is super pleasing. Next up, let's just return back to the Lamals here. Lamal Le Parfum. Now this is a lot of people's favorite, but I just can't say that it's mine. I feel like this one is made for the gentleman who, you know, holds the door and speaks like a sexy motherfucker. But now the reason this isn't my favorite isn't because it's bad. Far from bad. This is a phenomenal scent. But I just kind of love Ultramal a little bit more. Anyways, this one is just the Lamal DNA with a lot of iris, a lot of cardamom, and vanilla. And also some oriental notes, which is also a new thing. I actually really like these oriental notes in this fragrance. It is spicy, sweet, aromatic, and sexy, baby! It sure will pull compliments. I mean, all of these will. But this one might just do it a little bit better than some. It also lasts a good amount of time with really good projection. Next up, we have lamal on board. Now, I blind bought this about 4 or 5 months ago looking for a fresh lamal fragrance. I was curious and I got it at a pretty great discount. I also made a video on this one talking about it. I think it was a first impressions video. It was kind of a shitty video, I can't lie, but still, I did make a video about it. I think this fragrance is sort of mid. I sort of understand why this fragrance didn't really strike up in popularity or any hype at all. But at the same time, I feel like this fragrance wasn't made with that intent in mind. It more so strikes me as a Swiss Army knife of the lamal line. Something you can really wear whenever you want, whenever you want. This leans more summery in spring than cold, but it isn't the freshest fragrance of all time either. It opens up fresh, sweet, and aromatic, dries down with a warm or like sweeter rosy feel, and ends in utter warmth. It's just this like ambery sweetness you get at the end. That's kind of what I mean by by utterly warmth. It lasts about 5 to 6 hours. Maybe I can get more or less if you spray more, but I would just definitely recommend spraying a lot more with this than just 5 sprays. That's not going to be enough. In general, I really don't think this is worth the money. I paid about almost $100 for this, and I think it's also discontinued, so you don't really have to really worry about any of that. Now, I mean, yeah, it's discontinued, so obviously the prices are going to be higher up. If you really like this, go for it, but it's not that. It's not that special. But it's going to pull compliments, yeah, whatever. Overall, I liked it. But a lot of people compare this one to another flanker that I don't own or have ever smelled, called Aviator. That one I've never smelled, but I do still know a little bit about it. It smells like violet leaf and woods, basically, and a little bit of lamal DNA in there. And a lot of people compare Aviator to CH Men Privé, which is a Carolina Herrera fragrance that I think has been discontinued. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know why JPG released 2 flankers that smell, to some noses, actually identical. I think that's kind of weird. Next up is the mogger of all of these scents. A Luxmaxer's favorite scent, Lamal Elixir. Now, this is my favorite scent from the entire brand. I love sweet caramel-like scents with just a touch of warmth. I love the aromatic freshness and the start of this fragrance. It does heavily remind me of the original, which I'm so glad for, because a lot of these don't actually remind me at all of the original Lamal Eau de Toilette, which is sad. But this one does, and I'm happy about that. This has notes of tobacco, lavender, honey, vanilla, and benzoin. And benzoin, if you don't know what that is, it's another one of these warmer resin ambery notes that you can find in fragrances, like maybe something like Stronger With You, for example, or that new 1 million Royal, whatever. Now, off the first few seconds after you spray this, it smells warm and also aromatic fresh. It dries down super fucking sexy with vanilla and of course benzoin, which as I said is one of these warmer, sweet vanilla-like notes. And then you hit the base, which is a very photorealistic tobacco note along with honey. And also tonka. I love tonka. This one performs the best on my skin, which is such a plus considering it is my favorite. And it's also the one I would point to someone looking for something to get attention and compliments. This is, in my opinion, the best compliment getter in the line. This is an absolute masterpiece of a flanker. Yes, it follows the very heavy vanilla designer trend and also carries the name Elixir, which is very hated for some reason. But I mean, besides all those things, it's a masterpiece. Alright, that's enough from me. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything new, or maybe I guided you into which fragrance you want to purchase, a like will be heavily appreciated. And also, while you're at it, comment down below which Jumbo Gautier fragrance is your favorite and which one you enjoy the most, and also why. I'm very curious as to what my fans are actually wearing. If you like this style of content, I have a TikTok, which I will put the link in the description, or, you know, we'll edit it onto the ending screen, whatever. You can also go ahead and subscribe because it makes me very happy, and I also love seeing the subscriber count go up because it feels like I actually have like sort of a community, you know? It's really nice. My goal is to reach 100 subscribers before the end of March. If you guys can help me achieve that goal, it will mean the world to me, and I'm probably gonna do something crazy or stupid when I do reach that milestone. That's enough talking. God bless you all. Bye-bye, folks.